You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. The Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir presents the local premiere of Sir Paul McCartney's Oratorio, Ecce Cor Meum, or Behold My Heart. Joined by soprano soloist Andrea Lett, Pembina Trails Voices, Cantemus, and musicians of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, the work serves as an ecumenical meditation on goodness, spirituality, peace, and love. To tell us more, Maestro Yuri Klaz of the Winnipeg Phil, Pembina Trails Voices conductor Valdine and Winnipeg Philharmonic board member and programming co-chair Sandi Mielitz have joined me in studio. Welcome to you all. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Yuri, I want to begin by asking you the big question. Have you ever conducted the music of Sir Paul McCartney before?
No.
Never once, eh?
Well, actually, no, I'm not quite right. Yes, I did, but it was arrangements of his songs, some of his songs, choral arrangements, but not the massive oratorio, which we're going to do this coming Sunday.
Well, I think that kind of serves as a good guide and a good place to start this conversation off, because this is something very different than his songs. I mean, this is an oratorio that he composed in 2001. Can you give us a little bit of an overview? Tell us about Ecce Cor Meum. What's this work all about?
Yeah. Well, this oratorio, it's actually about 8 years in the making project. He started at the end of 90s, and then because of the death of his wife, he postponed the writing of the piece, and in 2001, as you mentioned, it was performed, but then it was actually rewritten to some extent, and in 2006, I believe, they made the final version, which we're going to hear. Well, it's a very interesting piece, I must say, because first of all, as Sir Paul, known as a fantastic songwriter, and obviously his talent in creating melodies, going absolutely through the whole piece, the whole oratorio, and certainly the audience is to experience this wonderful melodic language of Sir Paul once again, but not in his songs, but it is very like large choral work, and it consists of 4 movements, as you mentioned, and it also has a little interlude called Lament, which can actually stand by its own. It's very, very, very deep and powerful and very melodic again piece with a choir and a solo oboe.
I think, yeah, like you say, I mean, it's this 4-movement work that unfolds, and I think what is very apparent in this, and if you can kind of draw a little through line between the Sir Paul of the Beatles or Wings, and this particular work, this sort of new classical that is written in an English church kind of style, is his ability as a tunesmith. You mentioned it. I mean, like, he knows how to write a song, he knows how to write a tune, and that is very apparent in this work. Whether it is through the chorus writing or that beautiful lament that comes right in the middle, and that really the nod to Linda, his wife who passed, right? This beautiful plaintive oboe part. It is a pretty moving composition, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Now, I want to chat more about those melodies that are not only going to be sung by the Winnipeg Philharmonic, but also Pembina Trails. Valdine, tell us a little bit about Cantemus and the group who've assembled to perform alongside the Winnipeg Phil.
Well, we've got 2 of our choirs, actually, Cantemus and the PTV Chamber Ensemble. So it's a collaboration of the 2 choirs, and it's really fun for them, as we've been saying. The tunes are so pretty, and we sing them many times, so that I think the audience really can sit back and enjoy hearing them again, and as they modify or grow and change throughout the piece. I think it's going to be an accessible and really lyric experience for the audience. So, and certainly my singers love it.
Well, I was going to exactly ask that. I mean, like, what a cool opportunity to perform Sir Paul McCartney's music. This is music that he originally wrote for boys' chorus, right?
That's
so
true.
we're going to hear the upper voices performing that way?
That's true. Yeah. And it wasn't a hard sell at all. Paul McCartney, they jumped on it. So, they've really been enjoying it. And yeah, they do have a very light and a white kind of sound. So I think they can manage the boy soprano expectation.
Yeah, I mean, there's something so, like, ethereal and otherworldly about a boys' chorus, and what a wonderful compliment to the full, rich sound of the Winnipeg Phil. I imagine the musicians are pretty excited to perform not only alongside the Phil singers, but also musicians of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. What a cool opportunity for them.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, it was easy to bring a lot of singers on board. They wouldn't miss it.
How many singers are there in total between the two ensembles?
I'd say about 30.
Oh, wow, what a wonderful compliment. And then how many Philharmonic singers will there be?
Well, between the two ensembles, as you mentioned, will be about 100.
What a mass of musicians up on the stage to perform. Sandi, I want to bring you into the conversation here because I want to chat a little bit more about the idea behind this show. I mean, the Winnipeg Philharmonic has such a grand tradition, a long-standing tradition as the oldest operating chorus in Western Canada, known for showcasing the classics. I mean, Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Rachmaninoff. Tell us a little bit about the importance of showcasing newer works like this one.
So that was exactly the issue, Simon. Last year was our 100th anniversary. So what do you do for your 101st? and, we very deliberately decided to send a signal about looking toward the future and, get a bit away from Brahms and Schubert and into something that was more contemporary. But then we had to find something contemporary that worked with orchestra and also was within the scope of the Phil to sing, because a lot of contemporary classical music is extremely difficult. And we came across, Yuri and I, and the whole program committee, we were scrolling through on the internet looking for, possibilities, and we came across this. And so Yuri took it away and listened to it, and he came back and he said, I like this. It's got complexity. It's got some depth. And yet it is singable by us and fun. So that's where it came from.
You mentioned birthdays. Of course, Winnipeg Philharmonic now in their 101st year. Sir Paul McCartney is in his 81st year. Last year was the big 8-0 for him. What a wonderful belated celebration this also serves to be.
It's really funny. I never knew or thought of that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, what a wonderful, again, like an opportunity to hear something different. This has never been done locally. The Winnipeg Philharmonic blazing new trail yet again. And I would imagine it also brings not only new musical opportunities for the singers and performers, but also for the audience as well, right? Maybe listeners who may not typically go to a Philharmonic show, but they'd be keen to hear something by the Fab Four, no?
Yeah, and that's part of the whole concept behind this is as we go into our next century, we're looking for a new audience, bring them in, and this is, again, a kind of work that can do that. And we're also planning our May concert is equivalent. It's all on the environment, and we're just trying to build new subscribers as well as new choristers.
And speaking of those Fab Four fans, there's going to be some Beatles tunes on the program too, aren't there?
Oh yeah.
you got to hear them. You got to sing them, don't you?
But Simon, singing them along with the record is really fun. Singing them off a score, and it's a fairly jazzy, complicated, syncopated score. This is a challenge for this choir, and I mean we're surmounting it. We're doing it, but I think Yuri's losing a little gray hair through this process.
Well, it is going to be a wonderful way to continue this 2023-24 Winnipeg Philharmonic season. Again, a performance that also features soprano soloist Andrea Lett, the Pembina Trails Voices, a couple ensembles, the Winnipeg Philharmonic, and members of the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. A performance of Paul McCartney's Ecce Cor Meum, Behold My Heart. That's this Sunday, March 17th, 3 p.m. at St. Boniface Cathedral. Tickets are $40, though there are cheaper tickets available for seniors and those under 30. More details at thefil.ca. Thank you all for being here today.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simon.